The best thing about getting out of your comfort zone is you don't need any talent to do it. All you have to do is physically move your body through space and time into a conversation, a situation, something that is uncomfortable, and then you just have to be there. Like you just have to stand there. That's the beauty of seeking discomfort, is that no talent is required. You just have to go do the thing. And the benefit isn't from doing it well. That's another piece. You don't have to succeed or achieve with discomfort. As soon as you are in that uncomfortable situation, like whatever the outcome is, you succeeded because you accepted the challenge.
Kill Complacency, a podcast that inspires growth and intentionality and helps you overcome your greatest obstacles.
Oh, this is part 2 with Gregory Benedikt. Man, we talked a lot in this part 2 here about discomfort and leaning into discomfort and the beautiful things that happen when we do, rather than living in complacency and the easy life. Define your dream, create commitment, and take bold action. Those were his 3 steps that he inspires people to do. But you got to listen to the end. Super powerful final statement and book recommendations. Thank you so much for listening. Powerful stuff here. So bold action. So I'm trying to find my life purpose. I'm realizing I'm in the rat race. I don't like it. I know I'm not going to be happy. So I'm going to take some bold action. I'm going to define my dream. What was it? Define my dream. I'm going to create commitment. And then I'm going to do bold action.
Yes.
Is it all easy at that point?
It's never easy. It's quite simple, but it's not easy. And like I said before, I was both in my own life and then even with coaching, I wish that there was some sentence I could say to people that would just break their paradigm and transform their life. And then they'd be like, oh my gosh, you're the best. But it's not like that. You have to do the hard thing. You have to get uncomfortable. And for some people, things click on the first time they get out of their comfort zone. They're like, wow, this magical thing happened. Other people, it takes longer. And so just the biggest thing I can say to people who are in that zone, whatever it looks like, where you're not fully fulfilled and happy with what you're doing, is you need to set aside time, money. You need to make the investment to change things. Because like I said, no one's coming to save you. And we're all so busy. Like no one has a budget set aside for coaching. No one has extra hours in the week where they're just, I'm going to sit down and think about what I want to do with my life. It's really hard to carve out that time. And if you hire a coach and work with someone, that's how you start to move things forward. Or if you don't have the money to work with a coach, read some of these books. And again, start taking that action and putting yourself out there.
Yeah, that's good. I agree with you 100%. And I something that I've underestimated is kind of what you hinted at just now, but is just take some time to process. And, do I like my career? Do I like what this career is making me to become? And asking those questions, I think reflecting, that can help you, determine your dream. Because a lot of times I think we just get so busy. We know we're not happy, but we're so busy doing the I'm going to call it the rat race, that we never do that reflection until much later in life. And we realize we have a lot of regret then, because we're 72 and realizing that I've wasted 50 years of my life doing something that I don't care about, don't like. So
100%. I need to pull up a quote by Joseph Campbell, he kind of brought the idea of the hero's journey to the West. And he says that regrets are illuminations that came too late. So it's exactly what you're saying. Most people don't create the space or the time to think about their life. And then they're hit with this illumination, with this realization later in life that, oh man, I wish I did things differently, but it's too late. And that to me is like the most heartbreaking thing. I was so terrified of getting to the end of my life and realizing that the person I became was less than who I was capable of becoming. That's what ultimately made me just burn the ships and dive in head first. I was like, nothing is going to be worse than getting to the end of my life and realizing that I didn't live it true to myself.
Yeah. Do you think that's easier to do at a younger age or not?
100%. I think that was one of the few things that I got right, is that
Mm-hmm.
I, for one reason or another, I've always told people I'm an old soul. I'm at least like
Mm-hmm.
95 right now. And I was able to see clearly that it's only going to get harder when I have a family, a mortgage, I have kids, like I'm further in my career, I'm making more money. It's only going to get harder to make a change. So I need to make this change now. And for me, COVID was actually a huge blessing because the world was upside down, everything was crazy. And I told myself, okay, if I'm not going to quit my job now in the midst of this global pandemic where no one knows what is going on, then I'm never going to quit. Like, this is a perfect opportunity to mix things up. So I have to go for it.
And you quit June, was it June of 2020? Is that right?
Yeah, June of 2020, it was kind of height of the pandemic. And like I said, I did not know what I wanted to do next. I told my dad, who is very logical and analytical as well, I said, Dad, 50% of my plan is to have no plan. And he did not like that at first. But then he got on board. And my parents, it's so funny. So my parents have been so supportive now. And it really was the moment I decided that I'm good with this. I'm fully comfortable and I'm going to do this regardless of if you support me or not. That's the moment that they got on board. It's like I had to fully own the idea for
You had to
myself.
commit.
I
Yeah,
had to commit.
that's good. Talking about discomfort, you have a quote, hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life. How do we walk through the discomfort? Because it's so easy to stay in that pot with a boiling frog and slowly get boiled rather than take the energy to jump out and do the hard, which leads to our intuition, which makes things easier and things gravitate to us. So can you talk us through like facing that discomfort and doing the hard thing, that thing that seems really hard at the time, but leads to an easier life?
I have so many things I could say about this. The simplest way to put it is that nothing great ever finds you in your comfort zone. Jesse Itzler, who's an ultramarathon runner, speaker, author, all the things, he says that luck and great things don't find you when you're sitting on the couch Sunday night watching the Kardashians. Like, you have to put yourself out there. And I can't remember who says it, but this concept of increasing your surface area for luck by getting out there in the world and doing more things. And specifically the discomfort piece.
Over the years, I have been coached by countless mentors, and now I want to offer that to you as well. How? By Marty Hofmann's Life Coaching. This will be a 6-week program in which I will guarantee you will develop a more growth mindset. We will set goals and learn about the importance of the processes and habits behind those goals. I will also help you see your story differently as things happening for you, not to you. We will also be discussing your future self and give you clarity on who that is and what it looks like. For more information, please follow the link below or hop on martyhoffman.com and follow the coaching link.
I'm trying to think where it started. I mean, I've been through the whole journey from David Goggins to all the people talking about doing hard things. And David Goggins used to really fire me up. And now I'm like, okay, you're a bit much, man. Like,
yeah,
chill out. And then I've also listened to, I've also been super into the Michael Singers of the world with Surrender Experiment is a great book where he just decided, I'm going to live my whole life essentially saying yes. It was like the spiritual yes man. And so he's saying, just like, go with the flow of life. And David Goggins is over here saying, like, every moment's going to suck. You have to bang your head against the wall. But realizing that good things don't find you in your comfort zone. And that, for me, the biggest thing, and I know I keep coming back to it, but it's really helpful, is knowing that if you do get out of your comfort zone, the universe is going to act. It's going to reward you in some capacity. And that quote, easy choices, hard life, hard choices, easy life, is by Jerzy Gregorek. He is a 4-time Olympic weightlifting world champion. He is coach to Tim Ferriss and Naval Ravikant, 2 of my heroes. He is like their strength and conditioning coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to have dinner with Jersey and his wife 4 years after meeting them randomly on an airplane and them telling me, hey, do these 3 things to live a good life. And that was actually where the concept of live a story worth telling came from. 4 years after I met these people who I had no idea who they were, I got an opportunity to have dinner with them, but it was super inconvenient. It wasn't like, oh, let's come to this dinner that's 30 minutes from your house in a week. It was, we're having dinner tomorrow night in San Jose. It's an 8-hour drive. Can you make it? And so I jumped in the car and drove up from San Diego.
How did you, just curious, to go in the niches, how did you get that invite? You stayed in touch the whole time?
No. So, I mean, again, this is one of the moments in my life that proved to me that magic is real and it exists. And when you're on your hero's journey, things stop making sense and beautiful things happen. So I met Jersey and his wife Aniela on a plane when I was working that first job that I hated. I'm flying back to San Francisco and I sit next to this older Polish couple who are super friendly. And I just end up chatting with Jersey for 2 hours about nutrition, weightlifting, fitness, philosophy, stoicism. And as we're landing, he's like, hey, can I give you some advice from the older generation to a younger? And I'm like, yeah, of course. I'd love this. And he goes, all right, here are 3 things you need to do in order to live like a exciting, fulfilled life. Number 1, learn about stoicism, because he was telling me about it. I was getting into it. And for those listening, if you don't know, it's a ancient philosophy that's super practical. They were kind of the OG people of separating what you can control and what you can't control. So learn about stoicism, start meditating every single day, and then take dancing lessons, because him and his wife would go dancing every week. And he said that it helped their relationship a ton. So I was like, okay, whatever, great, I'll do this. And he's like, yeah, reach out to me if you ever complete these 3 things and we can chat. And as he's getting off the plane, he's like, oh yeah, if you want to learn more about what I do, you can listen to this podcast I just went on. And I'm like, oh cool, like what podcast? And he goes, oh, I was just on the Tim Ferriss podcast. And my jaw drops. First of all, I'm so embarrassed because I just told him what I do for my workouts, like not knowing who this guy is.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. You didn't know who he was at all.
I had absolutely no idea who this man was, which is great because I would have been way too nervous to talk to him.
Sure, you would have lied.
So 100%. So he tells me that, my jaw is on the floor. And then I get in the Uber home and I listen to, like I said, Tim Ferriss and Naval Ravikant interview him and just be like, this guy is the greatest person ever. And so that was a huge experience. And then I forgot about it for a while. I started learning about stoicism. I did my daily meditation. I put off dancing lessons because that was very uncomfortable. But I finally did it. And when I finally did it, it had been about 3 years. I live down in San Diego now. I did it. It pops into my mind. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to contact Jersey. Like, how the heck am I going to contact him? He's this like reclusive. He's super famous, but also no one can get a hold of him because he's by design. I was like, okay, that's never going to happen. And a mentor of mine ended up having Jersey on his podcast. And I reached out to my mentor and I was like, dude, I met Jersey on a plane one time. He's so cool. That was a great podcast. Like, that was all I said. And this mentor of mine, his name is Dane. He goes, Jersey's amazing. We hit it off so much. We're having dinner tomorrow night in San Jose. Do you want to come? And so Dane invites me. I show up to dinner and I'm doing such a poor job telling the story because it's been so long. But I show up. Jersey and his wife Aniela don't recognize me because it had been like 4 years.
Sure.
And halfway through dinner, like, it's going super well. We're having fun conversations. Halfway through dinner, I was like, hey guys, can I interrupt for a moment? Can I tell you a story? And everyone was like, yeah, I guess. And that's when I tell the story of meeting this couple on a flight in 2018. They told me to do these 3 things to have a better life. I did the things. And then I said, and the craziest part about this story is that couple I met on the plane in 2018 was you guys. Just did a little mic drop silence. And then they were just like, oh my gosh, I remember you now. And it was this beautiful moment that made me feel like, 1, I was in a superhero movie. And 2, that was one of the first moments. It's like, I chose to do the hard thing of driving 8 hours last minute to go to dinner in an uncomfortable situation. Like, I was super nervous to do this. The whole time up, I was like rehearsing, how am I going to tell this story? And that decision to live a story worth telling, instead of just being like, no, of course I can't come to dinner in a city 8 hours away tomorrow. that was a big moment for me.
Hmm. I'm curious, Gregory, do you journal?
Yes.
Because like that story should be recorded. Because, and especially with your statement to live a life worth living. Is that what it is?
To live a story worth telling.
To live a story worth telling. Like you need to tell your kids that story someday.
I absolutely will. I've written an article about it online, and I've given a speech on it, and it's gonna be woven into one of the speeches I'm doing soon.
Yeah, about leaning into, because I feel like there's so many talking points there if we had more time. But even, I mean, you did the things, but then you reach out to your mentor because that was a step.
Mm-hmm.
And then you made the drive. I mean, and then you showed up. I mean, you could have been like, I've got other things going on, but there was all kinds of steps there that you had to take to get to that meal. So that's a cool story.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I as you were sharing that, something came up for me. And I've said this before, but like the best thing about getting out of your comfort zone is you don't need any talent to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is physically move your body through space and time into a conversation, a situation, something that is uncomfortable. And then you just have to be there. Like you just have to stand there. I talk a lot about speaking because I did Toastmasters for a long time and I'm getting into speaking, but like to give a speech in front of people, you literally just have to stand up and open your mouth. It's really scary.
Well, you got to move it too.
You got to move your mouth. There's a lot. You got to do something with your hands, but that's the beauty of seeking discomfort, is that no talent is required. You just have to go do the thing. And the benefit isn't from doing it well. That's another piece. You don't have to succeed or achieve with discomfort. As soon as you are in that uncomfortable situation, like whatever the outcome is, you succeeded because you accepted the challenge.
That is so well said. And it honestly complements our podcast so good, because my concern is that we are too easily stuck in systems that we don't want to break out of. And we have to kill complacency, because complacency is keeping us in the bubble we don't like, even though we don't like it. And it's all about taking that intentional step to break free and do the thing that's uncomfortable, do the thing that's hard. But we find when we do it, like you said on day 66 of your rejection thing, it was easy. And day one wasn't easy, but after 66 times, it had gotten easy, and it wasn't the challenge that it once was. And that's what happens when we do the discomfort thing. I'm in the middle. You'll like this. I've been an Android guy for 5, 6, 7 years, but I'm going to switch to Apple. But that discomfort, the discomfort of learning new buttons and programs and things that work and things don't work, it's been like 3 weeks. I'm like, I just can't do it. But I mean, in regards to this conversation, like, I know there's things Apple offers that Android doesn't. And so I need to lean into the discomfort.
Yeah.
Because it will get easier.
It will get easier. And Marty, just think about all the discomfort that everyone interacting with your green text has had for the past years. Now everyone gets to see the blue messages, and it's way more comfortable for them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a whole thing. You look it up. It's people with Androids, you can't iMessage them. The text show up as green, and it's a nightmare for group texts and other things.
That's why everyone whines about me.
Yes.
That's good. I was honestly ready last week to do it, and my son just switched, and he's like, Dad, you can't schedule send. And I was like, what? Like, I schedule send all the time. I don't think Apple people know what that is.
I didn't know that was a thing. That would be super convenient.
It's amazing because, like, you can tell someone happy birthday 3 months in advance, schedule send it, and then it dings them happy birthday, and they're like, oh, thanks, and you're like, oh, I completely forgot, and then you message back, and you're the hero.
Wow.
Apple needs to figure that out.
They need to get that figured out for sure.
Anyway, big sidetrack there. What would you say? I mean, you've got all kinds of great quotes. What would you say, Gregory, is a go-to quote for you? And maybe it's what your tattoo is.
No, I have so many. I want to think of two that are in line with what we've talked about today. So the first one I'll share that's with the authenticity piece. It's by Neil Gaiman, and he says,
if you want to wear a billboard of a message of kill complacency or live intentionally, then check out my merch store. It's www.mindsetshop.com. Mindset is with an X, so it's MINDXET shop, SHOP.com. Mindsetshop.com.
the moment that you feel just possibly you are walking down the street naked, exposing too much of your heart and your mind and what exists on the inside, showing too much of yourself, that is the moment you might be starting to get it right. That's
good.
The first one. It's like that. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and feel like you're walking down the street naked, because then you'll meet the other people who connect with your authentic weirdness. I used to always say, please be weird. Like, we need your weirdness. So that's one. And then the second one that's all about courage and going for it is Terrence McKenna. And he says, again, these are both kind of long, sorry.
No, it's good.
He says, nature loves courage. You make the commitment and nature will respond to that commitment by removing impossible obstacles. Dream the impossible dream and the world will not grind you under. It will lift you up. This is the trick. This is what all these teachers and philosophers who really counted, who really touched the alchemical gold, this is what they understood. This is the shamanic dance in the waterfall. This is how magic is done, by hurling yourself into the abyss and discovering it's a featherbed.
It's inspiring.
So those are two of my big ones.
Why are we so afraid of being real?
Because it's hard and it's scary and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, vulnerable. It's vulnerable.
Yes.
Showing ourselves naked is pretty vulnerable.
There are ways you could take that quote the wrong way. So
yeah. You've read a lot of books.
Yes.
And I had in my notes to talk about Man's Search for Meaning. But what has been maybe a really pivotal book for you in your journey? And maybe it's constantly changing, but what's like a book that stands out to you that you just love?
Yeah. Can I give you a couple in different categories?
For sure.
Okay. So for habits and lifestyle design, it's definitely Atomic Habits, which I didn't read for the longest time. I put it off because I was like, okay, what is this guy going to tell me about habits? It's so popular. It can't be that good. And it is that good. So I now read Atomic Habits every year because it is so good. And again, that idea of a commitment device comes directly from that. That's a top one. For the productivity and also realizing that you're a finite human with too many tasks, I always recommend 4,000 Weeks. It's someone sent it to me and it's called 4,000 Weeks Time Management for Mortals. And I was like, dear God, I can't read another book about productivity. And then I opened it up and it was like very anti-productivity. It's like the whole thesis is like, you will die with a full email inbox. Focus on what matters in your life. And that was really powerful. So that's the productivity / you're going to die book. My most gifted and recommended book to anyone is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. I mentioned him earlier. That's like a common sense spiritual book that's so simple, so easy to read, and it really resonates. And then the last one I'll drop in here is kind of a mixture of business, like tactical business and life philosophy. And it's The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. And I love Naval because he's been super, super successful. He was like the Jesus of Silicon Valley in terms of VC investing, but he also figured out how to be happy. And he was really, what is the word I'm looking for? Like mocked almost and ridiculed at first. And his friends were like, you're a businessman. You're going to start talking about philosophy and happiness and life. And he's like, yeah, I am. And so I love that because the first half of the book is business. The second half is happiness and success. And he said one thing that has always stuck with me is that a lot of times happiness and success are two diverging paths. So if you want to optimize for your financial success, sometimes happiness needs to take a hit in the short term and vice versa. Trade-offs.
It's one or the other. We can't have both.
He was saying that it's a trade-off a lot of the time. You can have both, but you have to be very intentional about how you create it. A lot of times, if you're just going down like the rat race or the traditional path, like the more successful you get, the less happy you are because you're just so busy. I coach a lot of leaders in Fortune 500 companies through my leadership coaching. And oh my gosh, they are like at the pinnacle of success and achievement. And they are
not happy.
Booked 5 different ways for each hour of the day and not happy because it's crazy and overwhelming.
Yeah. There's been times in my life where I've been to that point and I've acquired a goal and thought it would bring me the satisfaction, and it doesn't. Right now, our church is going through the book Ecclesiastes, which is Solomon who had everything, and he's evaluating it all and finding out it doesn't make him happy. It's really thought provoking.
And that moment, to kind of loop this back into what we were talking about, that moment is so powerful. And that's who I work with now. It's the people who hit the financial number that they promised themselves would make them happy, whether it's 100,000, 200,000, 500,000. They hit that number and they felt empty. That's a really scary moment, because when you're on your way up and you're striving for something, you're like, okay, this is going to save me. And when you achieve it and it doesn't, then you're like, oh crap, what now? And those are the people that I'm so excited to work with, because they got to where they are today because they're highly skilled, highly competent, and they're high achievers. That also puts them at high risk for spending their entire life living it based on other people's expectations, so they can get the fancy job title, the pats on the back. And oh man, I get so fired up helping those people who are kind of waking up. I call it the initial awakening, that the things we were told as kids and in college would make us happy do not.
Yeah, they're hollow. They're empty. I was raised very Dave Ramsey in my mindset with finances. And at 29, I was free and clear on a house. And I paid it off. And I thought it would give me that happiness. And it didn't. And I remember that. I mean, that's my most vivid memory of realizing that the financial freedom piece doesn't make you feel any different. Like, it's the same old, same old. I didn't have a mortgage to pay, but I didn't feel good. It wasn't what I thought. So that's really good you're working with those people.
Yeah. And it's so I'm 29 right now. And I had that moment at 25 when I made the most money I'd ever made working in my finance job. And I just felt so empty. And now I'm 29. I'm going to turn 30 in January. And I'm now making more doing what I love. I'm making more per month doing what I love than I did in finance. And I cannot even begin to describe how amazing and how much gratitude I feel.
Yeah.
And that's what I really want to help people do, because I was the person who I was like, that works for other people, but it's not going to work for me. I'm too analytical and logical, and finance is what I'm supposed to do with my life. How could I possibly do something else? And I just want to maybe wrap up with saying, if you're listening to this and you feel like that might work for other people, but not for you, it can work for you. And it is the best feeling ever to get to wake up and do what you love and help people and serve.
Well said. I'm going to just wrap it up with that, Gregory, and serve and find that purpose and meaning. That's what it's all about. So thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you for having me, Marty. This was a super fun conversation. I know we could have gone for hours and hours.
For sure.
Wanted to thank you guys for listening to the end. In closing, I just wanted to add that if this message resonates with you, if it aligns with your values and something in it today triggered something, then You can also look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We are really trying to help people live more intentional lives to kill the complacency with which they have subscribed to. I know there's many ways which I get sucked in all the time. So if this is beneficial, follow me there.